Yeah. So what made me like approach for this kind of talk is that somebody asked me that you should speak something on happiness, how one can be happy, because you have got very good experience of quoting every day something new to be happy. So I thought that it is good idea to have this kind of interaction. And what I have sent you already the details of the notes, what I'm going to talk, but I will discuss something in detail so that you get clarification of and some inputs to improve your happiness level. Okay, so let us begin with what is happiness. Happiness is a state of being satisfied or content. It is different from pleasure. Pleasure is something different, which I'll discuss in next slide. So happiness means you feel content and satisfied. That feeling of that kind of like content, that I have everything and I don't need anything more, or I am satisfied with what I'm doing or what I'm getting. So that kind of feeling is most important for anybody, because there is no limit to which you can get worldly things or money or whatever it is. So happiness may be different for different people. That means a person may be happy with small amount of money, but the other person may not be happy with even 100 times more than that. So that is a difference of person to person in terms of happiness, what he enjoys or what he get content with. But happiness is also viewed as an outcome of pleasure, I told you. But pleasure is a totally different thing that we'll discuss in the next slide. So true happiness is a state when one communicates with God. That is what is the reason why everybody says that if you want true happiness, because God is within you, you look inside and you will be able to achieve that happiness without depending on anybody else. That is what is the contentment of highest order. Now, what is pleasure? Pleasure is emotional in nature and is a state in which you feel good and enjoy when you whatever you are doing. Pleasure is usually caused by external stimuli and often involves the five senses. That is, suppose you are playing a game. So that instant of playing game or making a goal in the post is the outcome of your action and what you see. So that leads to happiness, no doubt. But pleasure is different because it deals with emotions and feelings. And in a state of happiness, there is a sensation of inner peace or calmness or satisfaction. So there's a difference. But pleasure may give you happiness. That is possible. But happiness is similar to pleasure in some respect, as I told you, but you have a distinct difference between happiness and pleasure. Like when you feel happy, that is, you usually feel happy when a problem has been solved. That is contentment, that I have solved the problem. And when you have received good news, that is, your inner self feels, yes, it is okay, it is good. And when a goal has been accomplished, or when you have earned a great sum of money. So these are all materialistic things, but it gives you feeling of contentment. So, and the last point is when you are deeply in love. That is kind of ultimate happiness one feels, because that is not materialistic. That is something emotional, as it comes from pleasure of getting some form of response in love. So happiness and pleasure are different, but they match somewhere also. Now, what is that which makes one happy? So everyone is looking for happiness in this world. And happiness comes to those who think, plan, do, and act right at all the time. That is most important thing of out of all this is the thinking. Correct thinking and the positive thinking is a first step to reach the state of happiness. Because every action starts from thinking. What you think is what you do, or what you plan, or what you act on. So that is what is the basic first step. So positive thinking is most important for reaching a state of happiness. Now, if you look at the reasons of getting happy, is also includes accepting what is available and avoiding expectations from others, which will lead to happiness. So that is what is my understanding, that if you have no requirement, if you have no need, if you have no desire, then you will always be happy. And one should look down to see that there are people who have much less than what you have, but are much happier than you. That is what is the feeling of contentment at any level of physical or monetary level. So we should be thankful and always feel happy with whatever we have been given. That approach makes you happy all the time. So as I told you, satisfaction and contentment is the key which can lead to happiness for everyone in every situation. Even if you have some kind of trouble or some kind of accident or some kind of problem, then also you can think positively and correctly to feel okay, it is only I have got so much injury, but I am alive. That is one way of looking at it. So you should be thankful that I am alive and I have got just scratches here. So that kind of approach makes you happy. That is also a satisfaction or contentment. Now I have given some example here that if one wants a good house of his own, and that he achieves one day by his efforts and earnings and all those things, so he feels satisfied and happy. So satisfaction is permanent sort of, because he has got a house for lifetime. So that kind of approach, that you feel content with what you want or what you have achieved, is a basic parameter of happiness. Now, duration of happiness. Happiness can be for few seconds, few minutes, or it can be long term, lifetime. So we should always look for lifetime happiness. Like, you should have that kind of approach that I am at this stage having everything what I want, and I should be not be worried about or having any problem of looking into unhappiness in my life, because this is what I have got is enough. That kind of approach is most important for the lifetime sort of or long term happiness. But short term happiness you can enjoy, like by walking, playing, or eating a favorite dish you love to eat. So that kind of approach is also gives you daily basis happiness on which you can enjoy. So what is most important is we should make ourselves happy with short term happiness also on day to day basis. That will keep our spirit high, and we can enjoy every day, every moment. Then again, long-term happiness comes with contentment with what is granted to us. If you think like that, then like family, home, savings, job, and enlightened experiences. These makes way for long-term happiness. And it is most important or essential for contented, peaceful life. If we want our life to be peaceful, then we can look at these things whenever we are in a, what we say is a downtrend because of some reason. We should be looking at these things that we have got this much, these many things for long-term happiness. So we should not dilute our happiness for small things if it has happened somewhere. So when we, why we become unhappy, that is also most important, because most of the time people have everything almost, but even one thing happens in their life for a day and they become unhappy. So we become unhappy when our desires are not achieved normally, or when someone criticizes us wrongly or even rightly. So that kind of a event can make our life or our day or our week or our month unhappy. So that is what should not be. Actually, if you manage our thoughts properly, then we can ignore those things and remain happy in every situation. That's what is my feeling. And a person may have a house worth 100 crore but still be unsatisfied and unhappy, while another person living in a small hut may feel happy. That is what our approach of thinking, what we think. So it is not the materialistic thing what is making us unhappy. It is only our thinking making us unhappy. So my only contention is that we should always manage our thoughts properly, or we should think positively and find ways to be happy instead of finding ways to be unhappy. So what I'm saying is, even though we have a good house or everything available with us, but we feel unhappy because of some reason, that reason should be ignored. So here again another example I am giving, that in a small conversation in which we have told that we have purposefully done some wrong to someone, while we did everything right to help him. That is what was our approach. So this makes us unhappy because we think that the other person is telling something wrong and he is saying that you have done something wrong. So that kind of conflicting situation makes us unhappy. So approach to this kind of situation should be that we should ignore such conversations and avoid some certain people who are always trying to make you unhappy. You do your best, that should be the approach. So our happiness vanishes due to our own thinking. It is a small incident and we feel unhappy, ignoring all good that made us happy. So another points I have given here, why we become unhappy. We have desires which are not achieved because of very high level of our expectations. So our expectations are very high and we are not able to achieve those targets or desires, then we feel unhappy. Although we have everything else to be happy, but we ignore all those assets or items or whatever it is which made us happy earlier. It becomes useless and we forget all those things, and just for one point of not achieving, we are unhappy because of that. So that kind of approach is not good. Our effort should always be to make desires or goals as per our capabilities. This may be, if this is not possible, then we are making or creating our own unhappiness every day. So that is what is a general trend Why people feel unhappy all the day, or all the days rather? Just because of this, that they have created targets which they are not able to achieve because of their incapability or very high level of goals. So that kind of approach will always lead to unhappiness. The solution to reach a state of happiness is thus either to do more without getting unhappy or scale down the desires to achievable level. So that is what is the approach should be to remain happy. So I have given certain points here how to remain happy. This is a basic concept of uh, maintaining happiness all the day or all the time. That is, think positively and accept every mistake or problem. It is not that it is not to be solved. It has to be solved. If the problem is there, it is an opportunity to solve and get happiness out of it. So, in case of failure or some unexpected incident, manage your thoughts properly and accept what has happened. Then keep the desires at achievable level. Ignore, understand undesired conversations and avoid interactions with such people. Do not expect much from others. That is fundamental to remaining happy. Find happiness within through meditation and other hobbies, not depending on anyone else. So these are the points which can help you derive happiness every day. So other points which I have mentioned hereafter is my experience of how to remain happy, the tips. Knowing that we get what we deserve is essential to be happy. We should know that whatever we get is what we deserve and not a point more than what we deserve we'll get. So it is just a concept of you'll get what you deserve, nothing more than that. Then life is a cycle of ups and downs. We must know how to tackle downs by doing hard work with positive approach. There is always a sunlight after the dark night. So we should always be hopeful that time will change and everything will also change. It will not remain constant for the life. So every incident or every phase of life will change with time. So that approach will make you hopeful. We should look at where we have reached today from where we were when we begin. So over the years, how much you have developed, how much you have gained, how much you have improved, that you should look back. And that will continue. That will not stop here. So that kind of approach will make you happy. Our desires must match our capabilities. That's why I told you that we should always make our desires based on our capabilities, not imaginarily. Always spend less than what we have earned or collected. That is the basic approach where you don't beg to anybody or you feel in a problem which makes you sad or unhappy. So always think and do something to bring smile on the face. अपने आप के लिए आप कुछ ऐसा करते रहें जिससे आप खुद खुश रहें अपने बेसिस पे अपने कामों से. That is what is the meaning of this. And real happiness is experienced when we see a smile on face of others as a result of our efforts. That is most important. You may bring a smile for you by doing something good for you, but the level of happiness will be totally different or higher when you bring a smile on face of others by your efforts. So that kind of approach is very concrete way to effort to happiness, the real happiness. And for happiness, you must have healthy body and peaceful mind. So that goal should be maintained. That you should work on your body or mind and mind rather to be feeling happy. So happiness of doing what you love is also very important. Learning what you live like, learning what you like give you extra happiness. Like you have a hobby, you have a desire to do something which you could not do earlier. If you do that, you will find more happiness in your life. A step towards the goal is big basket of happiness. Suppose you set up a goal for the day and you achieve that goal. So that brings happiness. So you set small goals every day and you achieve them and you find happiness coming out of that. That approach is also bringing happiness in everyday life. Then helping others in other way is other way to be happy. As I told you, if you bring smile on others' face, you will be more happy. Now, number of points I have mentioned here, but you can read on your own also because they are very simple. And I would like to now stop here because these are simple things which you can learn on your own. I would like to use some time with some discussion. If you have any point to raise here. Thank you. You can unmute and you can start asking question if you have any. Yes? Anybody? Sanjeev, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
It's very well done, and you explained very well. And honestly, no questions as such because the small steps make you very happy.
Everything is very clear, simple.
Yeah, no, no, it's simple, but it is true also that contentment and satisfaction makes you always happy.
Yeah.
And what good point you have told is giving smiles to other. I mean, keeping others happy also makes you happy. You have
That
covered
gives you more
everything very
happiness,
well.
I tell you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's done very well. I think long term happiness is something which you achieve when you're getting more and more mature, and it takes time.
Actually,
But
we learn very slowly. What I'm saying is, we learn very slowly. But if these inputs are given to young people, they may learn it faster.
yeah,
That's what is my point. So I would request you to forward to your young ones the same slides so that they can learn something and they can get benefit out of it.
yeah, yeah, sure.
Hmm.
Thanks.
Okay. Yeah. Anybody else would like to say anything? No. Anyway, you think over it. You can ask on WhatsApp if you have any question. If there's no question at this moment, there's no problem. And I thank everybody who has joined here. Thank you very much. And I hope you will do use these things in your daily life to be better and to be happier. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much for the nice talk. Thank you.
Okay. Take care.
Yeah, you too.
Bye.